Hello, welcome to Inside the Pastor Study. I am your host, Reverend Kelvin Walter, and today I'm honored to present a guest today, the pastor of Faith Power Ministries in Harlem, New York, Reverend David Dozier. How are you today?
Good, Pastor Walter. Good to see you. Good to be here with you, man.
Always good seeing you also. Very, very excited about today. Many people don't know that we've known each other better than 20 years.
Yes, sir.
And you've been preaching for as long.
Yes.
I just want to take some time to look back and reflect over your experience in the ministry, the long journey it took from becoming a junior deacon to a licensed minister, an ordained reverend, and now pastor of your own church, which you started recently.
Yes.
Take us back to 1989 when you and I both were in the same church in Jamaica, Queens. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what it was like to become a junior deacon at age 15.
Well, first, coming to the church was, quote unquote, forcefully. My mother brought me. My mother started going to church. It was a stickler that if she was going, I had to go. So as a result, she brought me to church with her every Sunday. In the beginning, I did not like it. I don't think any child that age likes to go to church. They like to be out the mall with their friends, hanging out, going to the movies, doing things of that nature. Then, thanks to God, I was able to find young people the same age who were like-minded, just like me, you being one of them, a couple of other young ladies, and two other young men who are very close friends of ours. When I found you all, I saw that we kind of liked the same things. We started hanging out together, doing stuff together. Church became more fun for me. The thing I like about the church where we were going to, it seemed to be more young adults than there were older seniors or older adults. So as a result, the church kind of catered to the young adult community or the children or teenagers. Everything at the ministry involved teenagers. As you said, we became junior deacons at an early age, given a lot of responsibility at an early age. We were taught about communion, things of that nature, about baptism and things like that. And even being a teenager, it was a lot, but because there were other people like yourself and our two other friends and the other young ladies who were also doing the same thing, it was kind of fun because although it was strict and it was responsibility, we seemed to always make fun out of what we were doing.
Right. Well, let me ask you, you went from being a junior deacon at age 15.
Yes.
And by the time you were 19 years old, you were licensed
Yes.
to preach.
Yes.
How was that transition and how did that affect you going forward socially to start in ministry being, if you can remember, we would be junior deacons and we'd be serving people that were seniors,
Yes.
people that were hospitalized on Saturdays.
Right.
Did it have an adverse effect socially? How did you deal with the pressure of taking on such great responsibility at such a young age?
To be very honest with you, Pastor, I really did enjoy it because, like I said, I wasn't in it by myself. You guys were there. And although we did not go out together, we were partnered or teamed with adults. The person I was partnered with, he's one of my mentors in ministry. He took me under his wing. He taught me what was right, what was wrong. He taught me how to pray. He taught me how to serve communion. So I kind of enjoyed going out with him or going out with the team at that time. I really didn't have a lot of friends growing up outside of the church. I'm kind of a loner. I've always been like that. I've always been to myself. I'm not the type of person to come into a crowd and start a conversation. I'm the type of person, once the conversation starts, I jump in and get in it. So outside of the church, I really didn't have any friends. Inside the church, I had you guys. So my life at that point became the church. I looked forward to coming to the church because you all would be there, or we would call and make plans to hook up after church, or whatever the case may be. Having such responsibility at an early age was kind of hard because you look to do certain things when in your mind you really want to be out doing something else.
Right.
I would have loved to have been out at the movie theater. I would have loved to been out playing basketball at the times when I had to be there. There were times I wanted to be there. There were times I did not want to be there because I wanted to do other things. But I felt I had a commitment to God and I had a commitment to the ministry. I really felt that this was something that God wanted me to do. So that really kind of helped me in my early teen years, as far as ministry was concerned, to take on such responsibility, to be committed to such responsibility, and to be committed to leadership, because I really felt that this is something that God wanted me to do. Once I got committed to that and knew that this was something that God wanted me to do, it really was no problem for me at that point.
If you can remember, there was a time when we would be at Bible study on Wednesday night. We'd be at choir rehearsal on Thursday. We'd be at youth church on Friday. Sometimes there would be, I think once a month, a prayer breakfast on Saturday.
Yes.
And then we may have 2 or 3 services on Sunday. Looking back, do you think that's healthy, or do you think it creates a false balance?
Be honest with you, I do think it creates a false balance. I don't think you need to be in church every day, all day. God is a God of balance. I think your social life should be at a level and your spiritual life should be at a level. You don't want to lose contact with the outside world. Then people start to call you fanatic. You start to lose touch with people on the outside, with your family members. I can remember times of there being family functions and I could not go because I had to be at church. I could have very well said, I'm not going, but I felt that because of my commitment to God, because of my commitment to the church, that I need to press my way, tell my family, look, I'll see you another time, and go into the church. But that seemed to be something that was ongoing, and as a result, my life was consumed by the church. I can honestly sit here today and tell you, I don't think I had a life outside or separate from the church at that age or stage in my life.
Right, right. Well, I recognize and understand, the pressure you deal with just being an adolescent, just trying to grow up and then to actually work in ministry. And you see a lot of things in ministry. You and I, out of the 4 of us, out of LeBaron and Orlando, yourself and myself included, we came up together, but you and I were the first to be licensed in the church. We started preaching the same month, the same time. And when you look back over those things, where do you see things starting to change, where it started transitioning from being fun to start to feel some of the pain and some of the strain dealing with ministry? Where did you notice the change, and how did you notice the change, or was there one?
At the point where it became, you have to be here, no questions about it, don't ask to not be here. This is your life. Either you gonna be here or you will be ousted. When it got to a point where my friends that I did have, the little friends that I did have outside the church, no longer knew what I looked like. They said I was changing. I thought I was better than them. In all actuality, to be honest, I really did feel that way. I felt that once I got to a position of responsibility, when I was given some authority, it kind of took on the point where you're not better than me, you're lower than me, you need to listen to me, you need to do what I say. I think I adopted that from the leadership that I had. It was either you be loyal or you would be made to look like a fool, or you would be called names, or you wouldn't be up to par, or you would be made to look like something that you're not. As I begin to get older, as you said, we were licensed at the same time. We were kind of ordained at different years, but as it got to the time of adulthood, I think at that point it began to no longer be fun. Whereas I enjoyed coming because you all were there, we made fun of it. There was a time where it was just me there by myself, and I didn't have the source to be able to come to y'all or talk to y'all. It seems like I was doing everything myself, and it wasn't, I didn't feel like I had a choice. I felt like it was something that you had to do or else. You had to be loyal to leadership and ministry. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being loyal to leadership. There's nothing wrong with being loyal to ministry. But I have a problem with authority abusers. I have a problem with dictators who say it's my way or the highway. And after being there for so long and having the ministry ingrained in me, and I guess being familiar and being comfortable, you can get chastised for stuff that's not your fault, and you take that and say, okay, whatever. With me, it got to a point where I was always taking it. I never spoke up. I never went against the grain. I was quote unquote, as they called me, the yes man. Um, even as teenagers when we were kids, there was always a difference between me and the three of y'all. Um,
How so?
to, to put it plainly, there was some stuff that you would not stand for, or you would not take sitting down, where I would take sitting down. Someone can yell at you at the top of their lungs. You would get up and say, look, don't yell at me. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Me, I will sit there and take it. Why would I do that at that age or at that time? I would say it all boils down to manipulation.
Okay. So you felt at moments you were manipulated.
I do feel at moments I were manipulated.
You know,
yes.
I've heard it said that there can be times when your mentor becomes your tormentor. The difference between, I think, the three of us and maybe Rev and yourself, you looked up to him in a different way than we did. It was always said to you that you would be his successor one day. It was always implied or promised to you. Tell us about an experience you had when you were about 16 years old, 17 years old, when he called you one night and you thought he was actually suicidal. And tell us about what happened.
Well, I was sitting at home. I received a call from him within the call stating that I can't take it anymore. I don't want to live this life anymore. I'm going to do it. I'm going to end it. At 15, you don't know what to say. I guess from watching TV and things of that nature, you say stuff that you've heard. So, I said, your life is worth living. We need you. The church needs you. The community needs you. You're doing a great work in the community. Your children need you. Your wife needs you. So this is not something that you need to do. And, they continued, no, I can't take it no more. I'm going to end it. I'm going to do it. Then I heard a loud sound like a boom, like a gun going off. I quickly hung up the phone, ran out the house, ran to the church, went inside the church, and found him sitting there in his chair with the gun on the desk. My memory after that is very vague. I can't tell you what happened after that point, but that was something kind of hard to. This is a man I look up to. This is a man I quote unquote worship the ground he walk on. He wasn't God, but he was, to me, he was the persona of God. This was a man that I wanted to be like. This was a man that I aspired to be like. I want to be a great preacher like him. I want to be respected like he was respected in the community. So when he called me with that, and then I heard the sound, it sounded like a gun going off. I mean, something in